Hey guys, it's me Landon, and today we're going to be going through my tackle bag to see what's in here. Let's get into it. What we have is my jigs and curly tail grubs. So right here we have a curly tail grub with a jig head with a little homemade fly attached to it, which I'll take off. And I have some crappie tubes, whatever you want to call them, one on a jig. And I also have a swim bait right here. The swim bait, it's green and white, and it looks very good in the water with the paddle tail. I also have some trout magnets in here. I don't have one with a hook on it, but this trout magnet is great for panfish, sunfish. And then I also have my rooster tails right here. These are very good for panfish, sunfish, whatever you want to call them. These look very good in the water with the flash. And then I also have some spoons right here for ice fishing or just for regular fishing in the like lakes right here. I also have some more curly tail grubs with jig heads on them right here. Then I have some plastic swim baits with jig heads. I have a lot of these because they just look very nice in the water. Then I also have a worm with like a cut worm with a jig head right here. I have a Googan worm. I forget what the name of this worm is called, but it's right here. Then I also have a natural worm Texas rigged. These look very nice in the water. I also have a lunker log crayfish on a Ned rig right here. These are very nice. That's it really for this box. So let's move on to the next one. So guys, the next box that I have is my crankbaits and swim baits. And I have this swim bait right here that's tangled up. It was supposed to represent like golden shiner and when it swims in the lakes or ponds. I also have a jerkbait right here in green with a little bit of orange on it. These look very nice in the water also. I also have this crayfish with these little arms that move around and this spot of red on the bottom. These will attract a lot of attention because of the arms. Also, I have these little crankbaits in here. I found both of these at a lake, same lake I think, in trees and on the ground. And then I also have this crankbait right here, Googan crankbait with some sparkles. And then I also have this perch pattern crankbait, missing an eye. This one doesn't have a brand. That one's very good. I also have this weighted lipless crankbait or rattle trap, whatever you want to call it. This one, it's weighted and it has rattles in it, of course, because it's a rattle trap. I also have this orange one with some black dots. It's good for weedless areas and stuff. I also have this Rapala jointed jerkbait. It looks very good in the water and creates a lot of motion. And I also have this swim bait right here that looks supposed to resemble a bluegill. It looks amazing in the water and looks realistic. So that's really all for, and then I also have this little trout jerkbait right here. That's all for this box. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. So guys, in this box I have a lot of my spinner baits and my more crankbaits. So this, I have a lunker log crawfish on a jig. The crayfish adds more realistic look to it. And I also have this spinner bait right here in bright orange colors, and bright orange and neon yellow colors. It will attract attention in the summer. I also have this of the original chatterbait with a crawfish on it, blue and green colors. It just matches really well with that. I also have a Googan clickbait right here with it makes a lot of noise while it's in the water. Also, I have a white swim bait right here, or not spinner bait right here. The white just looks good in the water and fish can clearly see it. I also have this one with the Mr. Curly Tail on it, with a Booyah spinner on it, so that's that. I also have this homemade swim bait right there. I have a deep diving Googan crankbait and shad pattern. These will look very nice in the water and they will attract a lot of fish because of the deep diving. I also have this sort of crankbait thing. It's goldfish pattern. I actually found this at a pond and cleaned it up. Now it's in my tackle bag. So yeah, these are nice. And then that's really it for this box. We're going to move on to the next one. So guys, in this box I have a lot of my top water baits. I have some frogs. These are very good frogs. I've caught in one fish or a couple fish on these. And then I have my Googan frogs right here, Eat Me. And then I also have a popper, top water popper, in green and silver. They create a lot of motion in the water, so it'll attract fish from deeper waters. And then I also have my Truesend whopper ploppers right here. What this part does, it kicks up water behind it when you run it through the water, so it'll create motion at the top where bass will be interested in it, and it comes up to eat it. So that's really all for this box. I have my whopper ploppers in 3 different colors for different locations, and yeah, that's really it for this box. Let's move on to the next one. So in this box I have a lot of my plastics that didn't come in a bag. I have a lot of these swim baits right here that come in different colors and they make a lot of motion in the water. I also have some curly tail grubs right here and some more grubs in here, along with a lot of other things. I have some long curly tail grubs right here. I also have some short ones and tiny ones and more curly tail grubs. And then I have some crappie tubes, whatever you want to call them. They're almost the same thing. I also have these crappie jigs. You can really use them for anything. They're like pink and sparkly with black on the top. I have an extra Lunker Log crayfish right here, and then some natural little worms right here also. And then I have a bobber. I have some hooks right there, right here, some more hooks just in case I ever need some. I also have this plastic bag in here with a green crayfish on one side and a blue on the other. I have it on my chatterbait. I also have a 2-ounce weight, some more hooks and jig heads, and then I also have a lot of my weights in here also, and some snap things. So that's it for this box. We're gonna move on to the next one, and then my soft plastics. Let's go. So in this box I have a lot of like creek or like little creek fishing stuff that you can use. Not really the whopper flopper, but I have this jig head with curly tail grub on it. I have a lot of those. I have a little crappie jig with a jig head. I have a Mr. Twister pumpkin pepper tail on a jig head, crappie tube on a jig head, a little curly tail on a trout magnet hook, and then in this one I have a spinner that you can attach to really anything. I have a little fish, minnow fish right here, Ned rig setup. I also have some swim baits in all different colors, plastic swim baits on a jig head. These look nice in the water when they're moving. And then I also have a whopper plopper 60. So these are like a tinier version of what I have in my top water box, basically, in there. In shad pattern, that one's in shad pattern. And then I also have this, some more rooster tails right here. These ones don't have any like fuzz on the bottom. These will be great for like panfish or bass if you want to use them. And then I also have a little perch jerkbait right here with perch jerkbait right there. And then I have some jig heads, and that's really it for this little one. And then in this other little one that I have some basically flies and little grubs in here. So like I'd use this for like creek fishing and grubs and little flies and stuff, like a little jig head cricket, a little spider right here for little creek fishing and flies and then grub. So that's it for this part. We're gonna move on to the next action. So what I have left in my tackle bag is my soft plastics. So starting over here, I have my Excite natural worms. These look very like real worms, and they look good in the water because of their pale color with black sparkles. So you can either wacky rig these or Texas style rig them. And then I also have my Excite crawfish or crawdads. These look good on jigs or just Texas rigged. And then I have my crackling crawfish from Googan. These look good on jigs and Texas rigged. And then I also have my Gary Yamamoto Cinco worms and green pumpkin. These look good wacky rigged or Texas rigged. Those are good for bass. And then I also have my Mr. Twister mini 3-inch mini tail pumpkin pepper jig little grubs. These look good on jig heads, or you can put them on like spinner baits. You can really put them on anything. And then I also have my Carl Amazing Baits lizard type thing, or I think it's called like a hawk thing, but these look good on Texas rigged or on a jig, like a chatterbait. So that's really all for my soft plastics and for my tackle bag. Leave a comment below what I should add to my tackle bag, and make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. See ya.